What's going on, everybody? It is a beautiful, cool, fall-like morning, really, here in Southern Virginia. I'm out here with all the birds. There's the ducks and some of my chicken pens. But anyway, I'm out here taking care of them this morning, making sure everybody's got fresh feed and water before I get my day going. And I made a video. I made a video. I don't know, about a month ago now on breeds that I raise and why I raise them. And that video, at least for my standards, has done really, really well. So it seems like y'all like videos about chicken breeds. So I'm gonna make this isn't gonna be a very long video, but I'm gonna make this video today on 5 of the best breeds you can have in your backyard. And all these are gonna be breeds that I either currently raise or have raised in the past. So let's get started. I'm going to get started with some breeds that I'm currently raising and why they'd be good for your backyard. So the first breed that I want to talk about is the Barred Rock. This is one of my Barred Rock hens out here in this little hoop coop. The Barred Rock's probably my personal favorite. I love these birds. They're very docile birds. I mean, you can see she's not freaking out or anything. She's just chilling, letting me hold her. She wanting to talk a little bit. But they're very docile birds, very pretty in my opinion. I think it's a pretty bird. But they're very good egg layers. They don't go broody that often. They're pretty easily accessible. You can always find some at like Tractor Supply or Rural King. I'm gonna let her down. You can always find them at like Tractor Supply or Rural King. Inexpensive, just a great overall bird. One of my favorites, and I'll probably always have them. A couple more positives about them is I've had several roosters, Barred Rock roosters, and every one I've ever had has been nice. I don't have to worry about it attacking me or anything like that. Everyone I've had is nice. I'm sure some of you guys and other people have stories of mean Barred Rock roosters, but for the most part, well, I mean, I've never had a mean one. So to me, that just makes them another good reason to have. Another positive about the Barred Rock is their chicks. If you decide to hatch them out with a rooster, and if you had a breeding flock of them, is their chicks are pretty easy to sex. So they're so they're that's another positive, is you can tell rooster from hen pretty early on when it comes to the Barred Rock chicks. So overall, great bird, great egg layer, docile, very good bird. While we're in this pen, we'll move on to my next one, which is going to be a Rhode Island Red. So the next breed I want to talk about is a Rhode Island Red. They're also a great bird to have in your that spider web on me. They're a great bird to have in your backyard flock. They're great egg layers. They lay probably around 300-ish a year, a good brown egg. They're pretty docile too, as you can see. I'm just holding her and she's not really freaking out or anything. Just like the Barred Rock, they're very easily accessible. Once again, Tractor Supply, Rural King, places like that always seem to have these Rhode Island Reds. They don't go broody. I've never had a Rhode Island Red go broody, so you don't have to worry about a stoppage in egg production for that. Now the downside is some of the roosters can be mean. I've had some mean Rhode Island Red roosters, but if you're just looking for a good backyard hen, this is a good bird. They also get pretty big, so if you're looking for dual purpose to have, to have some egg layers and then to process, this is a good bird for that. It's a good bird to have for that. Overall, a great bird. Like I said, the roosters can be a little mean and aggressive sometimes. The one I currently have, he's standing right here. He's not. He's pretty nice, but overall a great bird, and that's why I'm choosing that bird to put in this video. And So for the next breed I'm going to talk about is a breed that I raised for a pretty good while, but I currently don't have, just because it doesn't fit into my current breeding program. But let's go over here in the shed and we'll sit down and we'll talk about that breed. All right, the next breed I want to talk about is a breed that I had. It was actually one of the first breeds I ever had, is a white Leghorn. And I'll throw up a picture of my old flock here. Anyway, white Leghorns, they're great. The hens are great to have in the backyard. They lay a good, large white egg. They're going to give you 300 plus eggs a year. Easily 300 plus eggs a year. They are egg laying machines. Just like the last two breeds we talked about, they're very easily accessible and inexpensive to have. You can find them just about anywhere. A lot of people raise white Leghorns, so if you're looking for some, maybe ask around, because a lot of people raise them. They're good birds to have. The downside to them is I would not recommend having a rooster from a white Leghorn. Every one I ever had was just mean as a snake. That pen that we were just in with the Rhode Island Reds and the Barred Rocks, I used to have my breeding flock of white Leghorns in there. And I used to have to keep a stick right outside the coop, because when I would go in there to feed or water, he would attack me every time. And everyone I had was like that. So maybe they wouldn't be a good, I wouldn't recommend getting a rooster from them. But hens, absolutely. They're very hardy. They can last through the winter. They grow fast. That's another good thing about a white Leghorn. If you can find some pullets, they grow really fast and can start laying in like 6-7 months. So just a great bird to have in your backyard. As far as hens go, they lay, like I said, they lay the big large white eggs, and they put them out. So like I said, a breed I currently don't have right now, but I could probably see myself getting them again, especially if you was wanting an egg laying flock. White Leghorn would be a great addition. For this next one, for this next breed, I actually have two varieties of them. I have Bantams, and I have standard large fowl, whatever you want to call it. And that's going to be just a Wyandotte. So let's go over here to this pen where I have some Bantam Wyandottes and some. Oh, I actually only have one standard, but I've had multiple before. So let's go over here and take a look at that. So coming in at my next breed is a Wyandotte. This is a standard size, large fowl, whatever you want to call it, gold lace Wyandotte. Very pretty bird. This is a young bird. It's only about, I don't know, 7-8 months old, but it's a young bird. And Wyandottes, all Wyandottes are pretty docile, and beautiful. I mean, look at that bird. Look how pretty this is. I mean, as far as having something pretty, it's going to be hard to beat a Wyandotte. And they come in a lot of different varieties. You have gold lace, blue lace, black lace, silver lace. It's all kinds, and all of them are pretty. And they all have this pattern kind of like this. But this is one of my standard sizes. Gold lace. This is actually for my wife. She wanted pretty birds, so she got her a gold lace, and they lay good eggs too. They're not quite a great a layer as some of the previous breeds I've mentioned, but still a good egg laying bird. So there's your standard. And let me see. And here, this is a Splash Bantam Wyandotte hen right here. Look how pretty this is. Very pretty bird. And like I said, this is a Bantam. I'm going to start breeding them next year. And this is one of the ones that I'm going to have as a breeder. She's a little skittish, but look how pretty. And this is a splashed Wyandotte Bantam. Just a beautiful, beautiful bird. I have blue lace, splash, black lace, and I think that's all. I have a little bit of all of the, she didn't like that. I have a little bit of variety when it comes to the Wyandottes, but the Wyandotte Bantams anyway. So this is a splash. That's a splash. I have, let's see if I can get one of these blue laced. Here we go. This is a blue laced. This is a blue laced Wyandotte Bantam. Also very pretty bird. So overall, I would recommend I would recommend I would recommend Wyandottes of any variety, Bantam or standard. It's blue lace, look how pretty. But so that's going to be my next breed. That was the last breed I wanted to discuss, was the Wyandottes. So for this last one, this one's probably going to be a little controversial, and this is some that I currently don't have, but I have had in the past. And some people have different opinions on this bird, but just for a backyard bird and for eggs, which is what most people want backyard chickens for, this bird's going to be hard to beat. So let's get out of here and we can talk about that last breed. So the last breed I want to discuss is like I just said, is a little controversial. Some people have different opinions on them. Is the golden comet or red comet or red star. There's a bunch of different names. And the reason they're controversial is because they are a hybrid, commercially produced bird that most of these large hen houses and egg farms have. But it is a golden comet, and I'm going to throw up, I've had some, I'll throw up a picture of some here. I know you've seen them if you've been into chickens for any amount of time, but as far as having egg laying birds, they're going to be hard to beat. Their egg laying machines, they're going to lay 300 plus a year. They don't care if it's cold, hot, whatever, they're going to throw the eggs out. So if you want a lot of eggs at a good rate, and they never go broody, nothing like that. So they're just laying. They're egg laying machines, and they won't let you down if eggs is really what you're after. So I would recommend them for somebody just in the backyard looking for some eggs. The downside to them is they're not going to live as long as like the Rhode Island Red or the Barred Rock or any, just regular breed, because once again they're a hybrid. They're a hybrid breed that they cross a couple different kinds to make those golden comets. So therefore they don't live as long, but they're very inexpensive to have. You can pick up grown birds at auctions or swaps, or around here flea markets. People sell birds at flea markets. And you're always going to find them there. So there's 5 of the best breeds I think you could have for your backyard. And obviously, depending on what you're wanting, that could vary. Some of these birds might not fit your program. I don't even have some of these birds because they don't fit my program. But just overall, if you're new into chickens, you can't go wrong with any of those breeds that I just named off. They're great starter birds, great to get you into it, and then you can vary from there where you want to go. But that's going to wrap up this video. I just wanted to make another, I know it's a lot of new people into chickens right now, and hopefully this can help somebody out if they're just getting started or wanting to get started with chickens. I hope this video can kind of point you in which direction you want to go, and maybe make the decision for you on which birds you should get, which breeds you should get.